What's going on, guys? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk right here on YouTube. I am the main event player, the Super C, coming back at you. And what an interesting week it has been. One second. Oh, yeah. I decided to go ahead and do a few things. And the Main Event Talk is sponsored by Mountain Dew. Do the do if you do the do, or something like that. My God, the main event has its own sponsor. Let me kind of straighten this out real quick if you don't mind. Boom, that looks a little better. Cool, you can see the whole thing now in front of you before its eyes. I'll tell you guys, this has been a very interesting week, hasn't it? It's been a week of nothing but shocking moment after shocking moment after shocking moment. And it all had to start last week at WrestleMania 30. The end of the streak at the hands of Brock Lesnar. He defeated The Undertaker, making it 21-1 at WrestleMania. And come to find out that Vince McMahon was the one that actually approved of this whole situation. Because I was reading through some stories and everything and finding out that Vince McMahon was the one that approved the whole thing, wanting Brock Lesnar to be the one to win. And Brock Lesnar did. And so forth. Undertaker also approved it as well. He agreed upon this. He didn't expect to, really lose to Brock Lesnar, but it happened the way it did. Streak comes to an end. Brock Lesnar wins, and you don't hear about him anymore. He's off of TV for like another 700 to 800 months or something like that. And the crazy thing about this whole thing with the streak coming to an end, it solidified Paul Heyman to be the greatest manager of all time. And, nobody can deny that. Paul Heyman is truly who he is, one of the greatest managers of all time. Managing not only Brock Lesnar, but men like CM Punk and Stone Cold and Undertaker and Arn Anderson, and the list goes on and on and on. And now with the newest Paul Heyman guy, which is also another shocking moment, Cesaro, he becomes a part of the Paul Heyman guy regime, and that's also a cool thing to check out as well. That's also another shocking moment. Now, let's continue with more of the shocking moments that took place before I get into what I really need to talk about, because I think all of you are ready for this episode, because for the past few days, ever since WrestleMania, I've done at least about four videos on YouTube in 1 week. 3 episodes of the Main Event Talk, this being the third, and the other one being the Main Event Thought about the streak. That is unprecedented. That's the first time I have done 4 in 1 week. I've actually done 4 in 1 week, and they were all women at that time. But that's a different story. I'm not going to, indulge you with that. That is for another time. But anyways, let's move on, okay? I know some of you are thinking, oh, that's bullshit, Furman. Yeah, it's bullshit. Let's move on. The shocking things that occurred. Undertaker streak coming to an end. Cesaro being the new Paul Heyman guy. And it's also official. After years of being in WCW and years of being in TNA, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, the legendary icon, Sting, is coming to the WWE. And man, It's been such a long time, hasn't it? I always thought that Sting could possibly come to the WWE now that WCW was out of business back in 2001. But I think the reason for Sting not showing up was the whole comment. I'm not sure if any of you remember about an episode of SmackDown when The Rock came, first appeared, and then Booker T comes out of nowhere and starts, introducing himself as Booker T with the World Heavyweight Championship. And then The Rock, I guess, insinuated, say, who in the blue hell are you? And I think Sting had saw that comment, or saw that SmackDown episode, was very furious about it, and said that he would never sign with WWE after that comment. But that was over 10 years ago, or 12 years ago to be exact. Now, ever since then, Sting had a very successful run in TNA wrestling. He had became world champion. He was a member of the Main Event Mafia. And now, a lot of people were really hoping for Sting to show up at WWE, and sure enough, it's finally going to happen. So now leaves the question, With the Undertaker's streak coming to an end, will we see Sting and Undertaker go at it at WrestleMania 21? There's a possibility that could still happen, because even though the Undertaker's streak may have came to an end at WrestleMania 30, there are still some questions that the Undertaker may have one more left in him. And that means that we could see the fantasy matchup of all fantasy matchups. The Undertaker, the dead man, against the Stinger. And that will be the fantasy matchup to end all fantasy matchups in the WWE. I can't wait. Sting is signed with WWE. So that's a third thing. Paige becoming the new NXT, well, actually the new Divas champion, I'm sorry. Beating AJ Lee in the middle of the ring. Is it just me, or was I the only one that was not surprised that was going to happen? I mean, you knew that shit was going to... The moment that AJ started coming out and started saying this, started saying that, and then Paige comes out of nowhere, you knew somehow that something was going down. And then when you started hearing the words, I'm going to put my title on the line, you said, oh shit, we're going to have a new champion. And sure enough, in about, what, 10 seconds, all of a sudden, Paige turned the page on AJ Lee and became the new Divas champion in the WWE. What a great accomplishment for Paige. And, you know, I've heard of her. First of all, I think she is one sexy, hot-looking woman. The main event wouldn't mind nailing that, but that's just me, though, okay? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, you would never nail that. Oh, trust me, you have no idea. But anyways, congratulations go out to Paige for becoming the new Divas champion. That was also another shocking moment that took place this week. And also, of course, another shocking moment that took place, but it did not take place in the WWE. It took place over in TNA Wrestling, when for the first time in over 10 years, Eric Young, who has worked for TNA Wrestling for over 10 years, becomes the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He beats Magnus in the middle of the ring, hits a pile driver, earned the shot at the championship, and all I can say is, oh man. I mean, I knew that Eric Young was going to change his ways from being a clown to being taken seriously, and now he has completely converted that, because now Eric Young went from being a clown in Team Canada to being a superhero, I remember that, to being married to ODB, and now becomes the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and he truly deserves it. In my eyes and in the eyes of wrestling fans, and others are not used to that yet, because, you know, they kind of see it as, you know, it's like Santino Marella winning the World Heavyweight title, or seeing Doink the Clown winning the TNA World Heavyweight title, or seeing the Brooklyn Brawler or Barry Horowitz. It's a lot of these crazy things. And you know what? It's kind of true. It's kind of funny that all of these clown wrestlers, and that's what I like to call them, clown wrestlers, who are only there to be funny in professional wrestling, were never made to be world champion. And I'm so glad that Eric Young converted that change, because he's needed that for a long, long time in his career. And now that he has finally achieved that and became TNA World Heavyweight Champion, now Eric is going to take things to a whole new level. Unfortunately, I don't really see Eric holding on to the title much longer. I kind of see him losing the championship at the next pay-per-view coming up at Sacrifice, and no doubt that Magnus will once again reign supreme, and the reign of Magnus will continue at Sacrifice if that occurs. So once again, congratulations go out to Eric Young for becoming the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. You truly deserve it. It's all yours, man. You have the ball. Now you got to run with it. And I'll tell you, all of those shocking moments have taken place, and including, well, the shocking moment of them all definitely would have to go with the death of the Ultimate Warrior. And as you guys know, I did a little bit of a tribute show for the Warrior on this episode. And, well, it was tragic, and now we hear that this Monday night on Raw, I hope everyone gets an opportunity to check it out, because the WWE is going to pay their respects and show show support in every way possible. They're going to do a tribute show on behalf of the Ultimate Warrior. And I'm so glad that they're doing that because, you know, they did that before with Eddie Guerrero. And I believe they also did it for somebody else. They also did it for Owen Hart as well, and that was very, very good. And now they get a chance to do it for the Ultimate Warrior. And, you know, like I said, it's real tragic that something like that had to happen to him. But in the process, you know, he truly deserved it. Not only deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, because, you know, I said on my main event talk that the Ultimate Warrior did not deserve to be in the same league with Hogan, with Flair, with Shawn Michaels, and with Stone Cold Steve Austin, because to me, you know, those guys revolutionized the business. And the Ultimate Warrior, even though he was known for, you know, the rope shaking and him coming to the ring, you know, with the intensity that he had, he was also known as the guy that beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 and became champion versus champion. That's truly Hall of Fame material right there. But I felt he didn't deserve to be in it. But then after seeing the Hall of Fame induction speech, he changed my mind, and he truly changed the mind of other wrestlers and other people since then. And even if the Ultimate Warrior was alive, I would still apologize for that. So, with the Ultimate Warrior's death taking place, I know a lot of people, like I said, are going to be tuning in this Monday night to pay their final respects to the Ultimate Warrior. It's going to be something very, very cool to watch. And I cannot wait to hear what all the wrestlers, all the wrestling fans will say on behalf of the Ultimate Warrior. And I'm kind of curious about who's going to be there. I mean, will Ric Flair be there? Will Hulk Hogan be there? Will The Rock, will Austin? I mean, there were a lot of people, some that knew Warrior, some that didn't. And who knows, maybe an appearance from Sting could happen, because as you guys know, Sting is already signed with WWE, and he is also the former tag team partner of the Ultimate Warrior back in the days of a team known as the Blade Runners, with Zepp Coulter, aka Dutch Mantel, as their manager at the time, if you've seen that picture. So it's going to be great to check it out. Don't forget, this Monday night, a tribute to the Ultimate Warrior and to his legacy. It's going to be a great show this Monday night on Monday Night Raw. Well, we've covered everything that we need to from every shocking moment that is taking place. Now, it's time to hit hard. Just a minute. I'm going to hit very hard. I'm going to hit hard, as in I'm going to wrap a steel baseball bat with some barbed wire all around it, flood it with gasoline, and set that bitch on fire, because I'm going to hit a couple of people. And you know what this episode is about. Because as I mentioned, if you've guys seen my tout, if you've guys seen my Instagram, you know what I said. I said that I'm going to rip a couple of assholes off in the form of two people. You know who they are. Now, after the Ultimate Warrior's death, the first thing that came to my head was, no doubt the media is going to not only find out about the Ultimate Warrior story, they're going to go ahead and start attacking. And that's what the media does best. They don't focus on the man. They don't focus on who he is and what he is and everything else like that. They want to focus on what caused his death.